I was walking through the streets of Norwich the other day getting my morning exercise when I noticed this painted on a wall. Contrary to what you may think, it's not the world's neatest graffiti, but something far, far older and much more interesting to the historically minded. This humble white H stands for hydrant and was painted on this building over 83 years ago during the early phases of World War II. It was done to enable firemen to locate a hydrant for their hoses during nighttime blackout conditions during a German air raid. I walked a few hundred yards down the street and found this on the wall of a Japanese restaurant. Then I crossed the road and found this one emblazoned on a hotel. Somewhat intrigued, over the following days I scoured the streets of Norwich city centre on foot and turned up lots of H's that had somehow survived the ravages of time, weather, reconstruction and vandalism. They are all World War II ghost signs, the last remnants of a comprehensive system of different words and symbols painted onto buildings and walls that cumulatively represent Britain's darkest hour. Put simply, they represent this. It is difficult to reconcile the destruction and chaos of German air raids with the modern cityscape. Most of the more obvious features of the Great Conflict are now gone. The air raid sirens that still littered towns and cities when I was a child have almost completely vanished. The air raid shelters are mostly gone too, filled in or covered over and forgotten. The damage wrought by German bombs and missiles is mostly gone too, the buildings repaired, the bomb sites built over. You really have to look very hard to find such places today. For example, this intersection, or crossroads as we call it, in Norwich. I've done a video about this particular area which still has 2 bomb sites. Check out the end screen. But like ghosts, the World War II era signage does linger on in our towns and cities, usually completely ignored by modern citizens. But if you raise your head up from your smartphone and actually look, much does remain to be seen. Getting to shelter quickly and efficiently was a prerequisite during any air raid, and finding a shelter had to be easy. So local authorities put signs on walls and buildings to aid citizens. Many of these air raid shelter signs remain today, many pointing to shelters that are long gone. Another common sign was this diamond with ERP, Emergency Rendezvous Point, a place where citizens could assemble for assistance in the aftermath of bombing. In the aftermath of a raid, citizens needed fresh water and could follow this sign to an EWS, or Emergency Water Supply. A German gas attack was an ever-present threat in wartime Britain, and everyone carried a gas mask at all times. Special gas decontamination centres were established in all urban areas to deal with the aftermath of such an attack, which fortunately never came, but the remnants of many of the signs still exist today. The enormity of what all these surviving signs represented to people in World War II is very hard for those of us who didn't live through the conflict to understand. Put simply, they represented the difference between life and death, between saving your home and letting it burn down, between receiving essentials like water and medical assistance to being abandoned to pain and thirst. So the next time you go for an urban walk, keep your eyes peeled, for you might just see a World War II survivor quietly fading away on a brick wall, forgotten, misunderstood, but incredibly emotive. Many thanks for watching. Please subscribe and share, and also visit my audiobook channel, War Stories with Mark Felton. You can also help to support both of my channels at PayPal and Patreon. Details in the description box below.